do I just do with it's this right here? Why would I do that? There we are. Okay, that was weird. In Ultra Instinct Goku, him and his fiance had their baby boy.
Oh, that's awesome. Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on Instagram, he posted a picture. Let's see.
Do we know the name and everything?
Oh, shoot. 1 sec here.
Whether it's a boy, girl, or other?
It is, yeah, it is a boy. Let's see. So he doesn't go by Ultra Instinct on Instagram. So it was what? FZ. Yeah, okay. So FZN assassin. Oh my. And let's see. There they are right there. I know it's blurry and stuff.
That's all good. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so good for him.
Yeah.
Now, I want him to come back in like 2 months and just say, boys, fatherhood's exhausting. And it's worse for the mother, but...
So is he currently like away, like, because isn't he part of the military or something?
Yeah, like the Navy or something.
Yeah.
So right here, officially...
I'll double check that kid's his.
Oh, no. No, he's been coming home often, like it was all training and stuff like that.
Right. Ah, right. Cool.
So he wasn't deployed or anything.
Right.
Excuse me. Yeah, Department of the Navy. Yeah, he's a good dude. He's been with us for a few years.
Yeah, yeah.
I know life is in the way and from hanging out and stuff, but it's all good.
Hey, but something that you keep saying is remember us when you become famous and everything.
Yes, yeah.
That's what you keep saying.
Remember me when you come into your kingdom. And that is a biblical line. What do you got planned for today?
Not particularly anything, to be honest. Gotta pop to the shops after this.
Pop to the shops? Well, with a whistle top.
Yeah.
What shops you going to?
The one nearby, we've got a Morrison's and a Home Bargains. So, those are the ones nearby. So I'll end up, because we live so rural, so we just the options of where to go. It's really limited.
Yeah.
Unless you want to drive for like 20 minutes.
Wow. Well, yeah, we went to Moncton yesterday, and that's an hour and 15 minutes, I think. So that's a little bit of a ride. It's funny, you drive to Moncton, you drive an hour and 15 minutes, and you're still in southern New Brunswick. It's crazy. It's a great place, though. Went to the Comic Hunter, man. Oh, that place is so amazing. If I had tons of money, I would buy everything in that shop. The statues they have are incredible. The Star Wars ones, Marvel ones.
You do like the statues.
Oh, they're mind blowing though. They're like $200-$300. Some of them are $1,000. I think they are on Instagram. If you ever really go on there, if you put in the Comic Hunter, I'm pretty sure it's all over. Oh,
Oh, hello.
stinking. Oh yeah, first before I move on. So yeah, the Comic Hunter. So it's if you're looking for the right one, it's the Comic Hunter _ Moncton. So Isaac yesterday, or last night, he goes to his buddies. Like they have this big sleepover. He just got home and they haven't even gone to bed yet. Friggin' kids. So yeah, the THECOMICHUNTER _ MONCTON. And if you go through some of the stuff they post, it is just wonderful. Like there's some Funko Pops that are incredible as well. There is there's one that they have in. It's so Funko Pops have the
Wow, these are expensive.
Yep. Let's see. They have these. So this is my Diablo one, but they have one that's like twice this size. It's huge.
Right.
And they have a big poster. It's in a case and everything inside. So it's a crazy Funko Pop, but it's a New Hope, and it has Luke and R2 with the New Hope poster right behind it, and it was $89.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, I need this in my life, but of course I couldn't get it. Let me check. Pretty sure I can find it online on the website.
Oh, they have a lot of stuff.
Oh my gosh, Lee, it's incredible.
Got like a whole D&D section.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Tons of stuff. But even their statues, they're so amazing. Like they have the Star Wars Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker 1/6 statue. The size, it's 1/6, $314. But if but it's so mind blowing.
I need to try and remember what the conversion is. The British.
British. Big casino, jing jing. Oh, there it is here. I'm gonna. Let me send this.
How much did you say the Luke was?
It is $84.95. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Do you have the stream chat up or no?
I
if
can.
Not, I can send it to you here.
No. It's loading right now.
So this is, but if you look at this, like it is, but it's massive. It is huge. And I almost got it. So one in Moncton, one in Fredericton. It's so cool. This website's mind blowing.
That is really cool.
But yeah, so they're only an hour away from me, and I was like, you guys should come to St. John. That would be amazing. But they're still paying off the Moncton building. But yeah, look through the. If you're ever bored, look through this Comic Hunter. But you guys got some store out there called like the Men something, or that has
Men.
Oh, James told me about it. He sent me a link. I just don't know how. And I saw it online as well. I'll have to find it and send it to you. But I forget the name of it. But it has a bunch of statues and nerd stuff and all of that. It's just crazy cool. Alrighty. Alright, you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do this. What episode 64, right? Yeah. So, hey, welcome to episode 64 of the Gamers Pass podcast, where a group of us gamers, this massive group, to please the millions, get together, chat about video games, talk about video games, what we're playing, and just whatever else we talk about. It's just a wonderful time. And we are going to have a good conversation today, especially about Unrecord, because we've talked about realism in games before. And I was trying to think of one of the games that sparked that controversy. And but nothing has ever come out or been around anything like this. And so we're going to have a good time. So here we go. Joining me today, as usual, is Lee. Lee, how you doing? And what have you been playing this week?
I'm doing awesome. This week I've been mainly playing the stuff that has just been releasing, being Minecraft Legends and Dead Island 2.
Excellent.
Obviously we've been doing Years 5 Horde mode. We did it twice this week,
Yep.
which was awesome.
That was awesome.
But yeah, it's been pretty new game focused.
Yeah.
And they're not like small games either. They're they're pretty big stuff.
Yeah, they really
And
are. And we'll talk Minecraft Legends, and we'll talk
yeah.
I don't know if we'll really hit Dead Island. We can just touch a bit on it, because
Mm,
we're all going to play it here tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then of course Gears on Friday. So yeah, we'll get
yeah.
together and chat and play and have good times. But anything else you're playing?
Not this past week, no.
All right.
I was gonna play Ghostwire, but I never got around to it.
Okay.
Since these have cropped up, that's been put on the back foot.
No, I get it. I get it. Yeah, for me, it's been new game focused as well. I start. What else? What did I play this week? Well,
You played Warzone.
oh, I did play Warzone.
Wa-
That was actually a
Warzone
lot of
2.
fun. And I got to stream Warzone, had a good time with Mark and everyone else who joined, so that was fun. And
Mm,
but off stream, work is so busy at the moment that I really don't get to play much offline. It's crazy. And so I've played Coffee Talk 2. That's brand spanking new. That just came out on the Game Pass. I really like it. I liked Coffee Talk 1. Coffee Talk 2 they're just different style of games. You can just chill, relax, and it's nothing too intensive. Been playing for Pinball Effects as well, just a little. I already got the Game Pass, whatever they have, maxed out, so I don't earn any more current rewards. So I just slowed down playing that game, which is good. And then when the new one comes out, like the Battle Pass or whatever, in 25 days, I'll jump on that and play that again. I played Minecraft Legends for about an hour as well, and we will discuss. Well, we're going to discuss that like next. Minecraft Legends.
mm.
We'll jump right in, and
But
then
with Warzone 2, like that looked like quite intense. Like some parts of that.
oh, it always
Um,
is. Yeah,
it's
Warzone
like
2.
it's
No,
like it's not as laid back as like Fortnite or something. From what I saw on the stream.
yeah, I think with Warzone 2, the realism, it's more realistic, I guess, than Fortnite. So, and you could have the downtime, but when there's 150 players, so
Mm,
like even though you have 100 in Fortnite and all that stuff, like Warzone, and they introduced that in the very first one, 150 players. So you could have a small map, you could have a large map, but we played the normal mode first, and then Mark switched up to Resurgence. Resurgence was awesome. Resurgence is you can keep spawning back, and
right.
I thoroughly enjoy that. I think that's great. And then we did Resurgence on the larger map, so you could land and not be so surrounded by thousands of people, and you could actually get your strategy, get your weapons and all that stuff, and
Mm,
move into the circle. So Warzone is tons of fun. I would honestly add it into the rotation. It's just I don't Mark works, right, when I stream, so I really don't
mm.
have anyone else to play that with. But that's it's a fun game. I did enjoy. That was my first time playing, even though it came out last year. Minecraft Legends. I did Coffee Talk 2, and then Dead Island 2, of course. We played that, and we'll discuss that. Let me add it right here. We'll discuss Dead Island 2 just a little bit. Now next week we will have we'll have more of a conversation about Dead Island 2, because
Oh yeah,
we'll
yeah.
played it a whole lot more. So the reason we didn't play it much and we didn't talk much is because we're going to stream it together and play together. We got a group, me, Lee, and James, and whoever else joins. I think it's 4 people.
Right.
So that should be cool.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, good times. Game Pass for the win as always. Ding. Love Game Pass. And there's been some really good controversial stuff that's happened this week in gaming. There's been, man, I don't know. There's been tons of crazy stuff in gaming this week. It's been awesome. And so we're not going to have a super long podcast today. I know last week we were a little bit longer, but it was great. Last week's conversations was fun and all that stuff. So
Yeah, yeah.
Alrighty.
And you weren't even modem mouthing too much either.
I really wasn't, which was awesome. So that is a good thing when I can just sit back a little bit and not talk constantly. That's a good thing, especially for this podcast. So so Lee, yeah, from us, all of us here and the millions watching, happy birthday to Mumsy tomorrow, which is awesome. And you can send her our love to her, and I hope you guys have an awesome day tomorrow. So. All right, Lee, Minecraft Legends. This is a game that I was actually really looking forward to. Not because I'm a Minecraft fan, because I'm not. But Minecraft Dungeons was amazing. That's a Diablo-esque game. Minecraft Legends is a Age of Empires real-time strategy game. Kind of. And yeah, so I was super excited when this came out. I've only got like an hour in, maybe 2 hours. And so, Lee, give me your thoughts on Minecraft Legends, because you said you played it. And yeah, fill me in.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's I'm still sort of getting used to it. The initial stages do feel like rather slow, but I think that's the case with any game like this, like real-time strategy game.
Yes.
But once you sort of know what's going on, it does make it easier. I'm at the point where I haven't really used them yet, but I think they're the iron ones, the sort of the mobs, like you can use the iron ones. And
it's
and that's
finding
kind
iron,
of the
which is a
stakes
pain in the butt. Finding iron.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I haven't. I mean, once I unlocked it, I pretty much stopped. So I never really got an insight in terms of how hard it is to find, but I bet it is hard to find. And but I do, it's quite easy to understand as it would be for something like this, and it's like, and I do like that. It does feel like a big exploration sort of thing. Like you're in a whole world, and it's massive. It does look really good.
Yeah.
For Minecraft at least, because Minecraft isn't meant to be this sort of great
No, not
aesthetic
at all.
thing, but it does look pretty good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So what did you like about it?
I liked that. I wasn't necessarily the biggest lover of the building.
Okay.
I felt like it sort of slowed things down for me, but I did like the combat with the mobs. Like I literally I used all the wooden ones where they're more ranged.
Yes.
So I used them, and I thought that was pretty effective. Because they said that wasn't on like the trailer or something. They said that you could literally have an entire army of something like that, as opposed to having like a mixture of different things. You could just have an whole army of one thing, and just destroy it immediately. So I think that was pretty good.
All right, did you play the story mode or like a sandbox mode?
It was the story mode,
Okay, cool.
I believe.
All right, how far did you get in it?
I took down 3. I think the pillager things.
Yep.
Yeah, I took down the 3 of those. I went back to the base area, and then and that's when I unlocked the iron mobs, and I sort of stopped at that point.
So you didn't do a massive battle.
I did, but it was more like sort of mobs just raiding little villages. It wasn't. It wasn't
Okay.
like a
So
massive
yeah,
battle. It was more.
you stopped right before like the epic turn of the story.
Ah,
Yeah, so if you play a little more, it's pretty
yeah.
like I'm used to RTS, so
Hmm.
it was no issues for me. Like, is there what didn't you like about the game before I start running my mouth?
It was mainly the I like as easy as it was to get a grasp of. I think maybe the building,
Okay.
and just that I felt like it just slowed things down. Um, and also like maybe like gathering the resources for it, like
Yep.
because what I found with that was that it's quicker if you're just around the same area, and then you just spam your guys to gather or like to get them all out
Yep.
so that they gather it quicker. But outside of that, I can't say that I'm like I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Maybe like certain like voice acting in the story. I can't say that was it was a strange choice, but I guess I'm not used to Minecraft people talking.
No, no. So I'm glad you brought that up because I totally forgot. Um, yeah. So I did not like the voiceovers at all.
Mm,
Playing Minecraft Dungeons, playing which was awesome. There was a little bit of voice acting in that. Playing Telltale's Minecraft game was phenomenal. That was special. This one here, I just don't like. I don't like the voices. I really don't. I'm glad you brought that up. That's cool. Because
mm,
I was like, am I just being too picky? These British folks that like just I just think they chose the wrong people. It just didn't seem right.
mm.
But the game for me, the game is fun. I found the controls to be a bit wonky, as in hard to like. I'm not used to the controls for what they had set up, and so RTSs on there's not a lot of console RTSs. So doing a what is it? Doing
Age
yeah,
of Empires
Age
or
of
something like
Empires. That's it. Yeah. So Age of Empires 2 came out, the definitive edition, all of that. That is amazing. The controls they set up in that worked, and it was just magical experience. Uh, this one here is a little different, the building and stuff like that, and there really isn't a lot of building yet. And so you just build your two golem sort of army bases, and you just spawn them. My pain in the butt was I can only spawn 20 at the time. And
that.
I wanted a whole lot more. I wanted to go in with an army that could just destroy. And then
Mm,
right before you stopped, you go to this next epic huge battle to take out some massive thing. And I just don't want to give any spoilers with the millions watching. And so you get 25. You get 5 additional. And there's a reason for that. But so I'm assuming eventually I'll get up to like a army of 100 to 200. I'm hoping. I am hoping. But I found once I learned how to gather resources, I thought it was pretty cool. Just because I can left trigger and then move my dude around, right trigger to do that. And it tells me how many at the bottom left hand corner, how many I'm actually going to be receiving as he's going
mm.
through gathering. But I can take off. I don't have to, excuse me, I don't have to stick around. I could just like
Yeah,
see you
yeah.
later, and he gathers all those resources, or they gather all those resources, whatever.
Mm.
But
I
yeah,
wasn't entirely sure initially whether you had to stay in some kind of range of them for it
yeah,
to make a difference.
I didn't know either. Honestly, I was like, okay, this dude's gonna do that because I'm
Mm.
used to. So when you play Age of Empires, you send your dudes to do whatever, and they
Yeah.
go. So you mark the forest, you mark the rock, the
Mm.
gold, all of that, and they just go and do it. So I guess
Yeah.
I'm kind of used to that.
Because you're the camera as opposed to the actual character.
Yeah, I'm the overlord, and I'm
Yeah.
like, do this, and then I can go and do my business and send whatever. So it's a fun game. It's an RTS game.
Mm.
It's cool. It's a little different, and so here he
Oh
is. Look at this guy.
man,
Sorry.
it was
That's all
so
right, dude.
so hard for you to go into the next room.
In all honesty, I completely forgot about this. I do
What?
apologize.
That's all right.
Your camera's not on, man. Just as heads up.
Yeah, bear with me. I don't know why that's not on. Hey,
Hey,
All
there
right,
he is.
hey.
All right. Well, James, good to have you.
Fashionably late.
That's okay. We're just discussing Minecraft Legends. Did you play it this week?
I did, yes. What do you guys think of it?
Okay, so Lee, go ahead. Just give a quick synopsis of your thoughts. I'll run through, and then we'll get James's thoughts.
I thought it looked pretty good. I thought it was a bit slow to begin with, but I think that's the case with any real-time strategy games. In terms of the story, the voice acting was it was a bit off. But for me, I think that's more of a case of that that I'm just not used to Minecraft people talking. And but I kind of like the combat, the building. I felt like slowed it down a bit, but that's just personal gripe for me. And I haven't played that much into it, so I don't know a whole lot in terms of the story.
Yeah, so for me too, I didn't like the voice acting. I thought I just didn't like it. There was just something about it. But I enjoyed the controls were a little hard to get used to. I found the controls a little crappy. But then I warmed up to it after like an hour. The sending my dudes to fight is still a little weird. And so I don't know
like where it places the flag or something.
Yeah. Attack this building and then it sets a flag, but it sends them past the building or it sends them past this. So I started like holding Y button and then started spamming Y button. I was like, I'll get it to work eventually. But yeah, I did that massive battle. That's kind of like the pre-log or whatever it is. I did that huge battle. It was fun. I could only do 25 characters at a time, so that was a little weird for an RTS game. I assume you get more, so we'll wait for that. But yeah, what were your thoughts, James?
Much the same as you guys. The pathing of your allies is really terrible. I tried attacking a building and it said I had 20 units. And I thought, why are there only about 2 or 3 units attacking this building? And then I saw they'd all kind of gotten stuck underneath a staircase.
Yep. You have to build a stairwell.
Yeah.
Ramps and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really irritating. It's pretty rough. I'll agree with that. But yeah, it's not. It's going to be one of them games that I call a one-hit wonder game. You know, you're going to be like, oh, this is cool, and then one day you're going to put it down and then never touch it again. It's that sort of game.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because Minecraft Dungeons, right? That keeps you coming back over and over and over. DLC, all of that stuff. So we'll see. It was actually very exciting. So, what was it you liked about the game?
I like real-time strategy games.
Yeah,
that's kind of my thing. I've always loved them ever since the early days of Command and Conquer. You know, back in the late 90s. I know you're not a fan of that series, but
it's all good.
I love it. So yeah, I do enjoy that, style of gameplay. I like the siege element, where you've got a massive fortress and you just slowly whittle it away. I unlocked the redstone launcher, which made the game 10 times better. That allows me to fire a huge cannon.
I didn't get to that point. Wow. Okay.
So yeah, you can unlock those things. And then I realised I could build arrow towers all around the enemy's bases that just start firing. So I like the siege element, and it takes a while. Some people don't like that it takes ages, but I like just seeing this enemy base slowly crumble.
Yep.
Under the pressure.
Like 2-3 hour battles. Yeah. I'm totally cool with that. That's
I'm the same.
Yeah, that's with Age of Empires. So Big Casino said it was a bit repetitive for him, and that's kind of RTS games. They are very very repetitive, but I guess the mentally, if you're just clearing patch after patch of the area and you're owning it, like that's what makes it super exciting for me. And so yeah. We'll see. But what games did you play this week, James, just to catch up?
I gave Dead Island a go yesterday for the first time.
Yep.
Really enjoyed it. But yeah, make sure you guys do the tutorial to when it says you can now do co-op.
Okay.
It pops up on the screen that says you can now do co-op.
I think I'm just about there.
Yeah, you're about there. But if you haven't seen that, you need to get that in order to do co-op. haven't been that many glitches that I noticed. I know the original Dead Island was notorious for glitches,
Yep.
so we'll see. We're
Sure
going to give
am.
it a razzmatazz tomorrow, aren't we? So
Yeah, I saw on
all right.
Twitter this one dude was just freaking out because it's at the entrance of the gate to the mansion. And the zombie that killed me, which I got really annoyed with. I don't mind saying this zombie ran up, bam, 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 and killed me. I'm like, stupid game. Actually hit the dude. You can see this on Twitter. The dude went flying. Mark, good to see you, dude. Sky high, and then fell onto the ground, and then morphed from the ground until like the open area of like into nothingness. It was so weird. So he was all upset, but I'm like, come on, these are huge games. Unfortunately, we do have to give some leeway to these massive sandbox games like that. We really do.
The original Dead Island, if you didn't play it, had so many glitches. My friend who I used to play with got hit inside of an umbrella, and we spent the next 10 minutes trying to figure out how to get him out of an umbrella.
That's amazing. I haven't.
They're the funny things you remember.
Yeah, I haven't come across any glitches in Dead Island 2 yet.
No.
It's pretty solid so far. There are a couple jump scares which I got annoyed at because I don't like jump scares.
But I think they're done well.
Yeah.
No, Lee, I just don't like them. And honestly,
I don't like them.
I opened up the door in the mansion, and then the zombie's like, ah, and I'm like, stupid game. And that's my only complaint. I want to go in, I want to play on very easy and just destroy everybody, but I don't think there is a I don't think there's a mode that you can select on difficulty.
No,
and
not
we'll
that I can see.
Yeah, we'll hit this next week.
Into a new game at level 100, the zombies will be level 100.
Yeah.
So they scale with you.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so this what's that, Lee?
But I do think it looks so good.
It does look good.
Oh,
Good looking game.
Like you know, when I don't know how, like, Mike, because I assume you two have picked like different characters as well.
I picked the Asian girl with the one leg.
Right, I don't think I picked I think her name's Carla. But I just think it's crazy how she has the fists of something that just never break. Like, and then you're able to punch zombies, and you can actually see where you punch them, the like chunks of them come off.
I didn't even notice that. No way.
It's depending on where you hit them. Like if you hit them in the chest with a weapon or with your fists, some of their clothing or skin or whatever, it comes off.
That's cool.
And if you hit them in the face, same sort of deal, but in the face.
Nice. Okay, what else are you playing, James?
Did I jump on anything else? Did a bit of Ghostwire Tokyo just to get an achievement here and there.
Yep.
And then just Gears of War with you guys. It's been a pretty full-on week with work, so I haven't played a great deal.
Yeah, me too. It sucks that work is cutting into our game time. All right, so next weekend we will definitely discuss more in depth of Dead Island 2. We just all wanted to get the co-op out of the way so we can join up and have some fun. And I think I'm going to love it when we're all playing together, doing objective-based stuff. And I think I'm going to have tons of fun with that. So
I do think it's going to be a lot of fun doing it with.
Yeah, Dead Island 1. I was late to the game for Dead Island 1, and so I think I got the special edition that had all the DLC, or I think it is, or something like that. And so I was able to have a good time, play that solo. I actually played that solo, and I had a good time. But like the whole jump scare stuff, whatever, I just get upset. So Minecraft,
the way it's done.
Yeah, exactly. So I've only got like just a tiny bit of news. We don't have a lot to chat about today, except for, and our main discussion is Unrecord. We've already chatted Realism before. I don't know if you remember, James, what sparked controversy of us talking about Realism in games before, but this one here is next level. And so, do you guys ever play The Division? I streamed it a few times on this channel. Do you guys like it? Did you play it, James?
I didn't play it, but I saw you play it.
Yeah, so they're really fun, but they're bullet sponge people. And so when I say that, like when you're fighting a boss, or if you're fighting more difficult guys, yellow or blue or whatever, they take so much ammo to kill that it's kind of annoying. Like you're sitting there, you got three guys, load a clip, and he's still walking towards you. And I don't like that. I really don't. But the game is really good. Division 2 is awesome. I actually bought the hardcore expensive one when it came out. And so Isaiah and I played that for a bit. We played lots of Division 1. So yesterday, and I didn't get to see it, Ubisoft said on April 20th, the company will be hosting a stream on Twitch and YouTube to celebrate Division Day, focused on the past, present, and future of the Division franchise. The lineup so far includes the Division 2 Year 5 roadmap, and is it 5 years? There's no way. That's crazy. Year 5 roadmap, new decent game mode, the Division Heartland gameplay preview, which I don't know what that is, and a project update on the Division Resurgence. And it's a fun multiplayer game, with all honesty. It's kind of a looter. You can have tons of fun at this game. It's just, if you can get past the bullet sponge stuff, yeah, you would have a blast. I know XFC Dylan was playing a lot of it too, and he still does. I'd definitely fire it up again if everybody got it. But Lee, is this something that is interest of you?
I can't say particularly,
Yeah.
but I can definitely, see appeal around it.
Yeah. James, how about you?
No, not really for me.
Yeah. I'm looking at the year. Release was 2019, so okay, 4 years ago. On PS4, Windows, Xbox One. Okay, so yeah, Division 2, like I said, it is a lot of fun. If you can get past the whole bullet sponge stuff, I actually have Super Potatoes to work on a Sunday for once. Wow, Spotty, we've never seen you on a Sunday. So good to see you. All right, let's do one of the big games that is possibly going to be my game of the year. I'm super excited. Is Diablo 4, and I don't know if you guys have seen at least the latest announcement. I need just to play this because you guys didn't play the last beta, right?
No, I didn't get a chance.
Hogwarts.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Hogwarts. Okay, so Diablo 4. What's that?
How could you forget Hogwarts?
I'm done. I had to have a breakup with Hogwarts because I was so depressed after I beat the game. It was just such a magical game, pun intended. So Diablo 4's beta, this beta known as a server slam, will be arriving on May 12th and lasting until May 14th. There was no plans. They decided to do on May 12th to the May 14th. Everything is unlocked except for like further into the game. You can go up to level 20. You can unlock a special wolf thing if you do play the beta. I highly recommend this game because it's super fun. I'm telling you right now, you can have big battles against a boss, but everybody together in the world. It's almost MMO-ish. It's going to be different, but it's going to be awesome. We're going to have such a great time. Apparently, you can fight a big boss in the actual beta, and I haven't seen a giant. I've seen the big bosses, but not like a super boss that everybody can fight together. So, this is going to be. Will it be a server slam because the servers will be slammed? Yes, the servers will be slammed. The last beta last month or early this month, I think. Yeah, early this month. Servers were destroyed on PC. I'm talking 40 to 50 minutes waiting to log in. Xbox.
And it got a lot of bad reviews because of that.
Yeah. And that's just, it's a beta. I'm glad they're doing it. And they're doing a third one, which is mind-blowing. So they're inviting everybody to come play and destroy our servers. That's basically what they're saying. Destroy our servers, please. Everybody join in.
Test the limits of what it can take.
The stress test is a must. We have to do it. And I wish more games would do that we're all waiting for. These big giant games like that. So May 12th to the May 14th. This is going to be super fun. I'm excited. And I hope you guys get just to test it out because I want you to get a feel for the game because you will get a feel for the game. Diablo 4 right now is fantastic and it's not glitchy. The only glitch thing is trying to play co-op with your actual dudes. Some stuff messes up with it, but I'm sure they fix that and all that. So you guys said you're getting Diablo 4?
I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Purely
I've
for you,
pre-ordered
I'm
it.
going in on a blank slate.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna have fun, James. We're gonna have fun. It's a different game. Even if we all play necromancers, but I want Lee. I know you'll play more of a barbarian or something. But
Yeah.
all 5 classes will be available on May 12th through the 14th. Spuddy says I saw someone fighting the big boss. Its damage was ridiculous, like taking out a quarter of his character's HP per hit. Yeah, it's mind blowing. And you can respawn and all that stuff. If you play Diablo 2, there was respawn, but this frustrated me. If you're in some sort of dungeon and you get killed, you respawn back at the village, but all of your stuff is sitting there in that dungeon that you have to try to get back to naked and pick up all your stuff again. I hated it. And so but yeah, major Diablo fan, and so I'm rocking.
So with that, like I think a major thing that I'm curious about is the stuff that you accomplish in the beta. Does that carry over to the actual game?
I don't think it does.
Right, so it'll be like a clean slate.
I'm pretty sure it's a clean slate, and
right, good.
Yeah, I'm assuming it is. It's just I don't want a clean slate, but I want a clean slate. I would like to see your beta characters be Hall of Famed of sorts, like a legend told about, hey, this character here did this, and I think that'd be a really cool thing. Thank you for participating in our beta, and we're gonna legendize your characters since past. I think that'd be cool. But I've only done the Necromancer, which I loved. That was so awesome. And I did the Sorceress, and I didn't do the Druid, the Barbarian, or the Thief. Is that what it is?
Druid, I think.
Druid, yes. Barbarian, Druid, and Rogue.
Sorcerer.
I did this. So there's 5.
Oh right, yeah, right.
Sorceress, Necromancer, Druid, Barbarian, and I think the last one a Rogue.
Yeah, I think it's a Rogue.
Okay, yeah, that's where you can sneak and all that stuff. And
yeah. So sorry, is it just those 5 for the whole game?
For now.
Right.
So I think that's basically what it's been like for all Diablos. So you've only got a few classes. And then when they introduced the Necromancer in Diablo 3, like a year or 2, I believe it was after, it's going to be so awesome. I'm going to guess the Necromancer will be OP, have a million summons class. Yep. So when I was playing, so here was what it was, what it was like when I was playing the Necromancer. I was able to spawn 5 skellies, and then I reached level 18 or something. So I was able to spawn two or 3 wizard magician skeletons, and then once you reach like level 25, I think you could summon a golem. I don't know how many, like this big monster to fight with you, and it was so awesome. The looting is great, the drops are great. The leveling was too fast, so hopefully they dumb that right down. Your actual abilities is massive. So trying to work on which ones you want as your main character is going to be awesome. It's going to take possibly some just some reading. Hey, this is the path I want to go to. It tells you everything you want to do. I don't. I won't read anything. So I highlight the thing I want. I'm looking at it. I'm like, does that fit my character, my playstyle? Yes. Okay. And then I choose it. That's it. But if you want to
I suppose that's why I just more go for the Barbarian, because it'd be less of that.
It's going to be the exact same, Lee. It's going to be the exact same.
No.
You're going to want to be able to be a monster, take so much damage. You're going to want all of those acid resistance, fire resistance, cold resistance, and it's so amazing. I'm just telling you, the skill tree is massive, and it's just like go down, and it's cool how they do it because they made this like overall, and so you have your little section, and as you're picking different items, you see like a bloodline start, and the more you choose, it'll go down and then unlock this section, and then it's crazy.
It's a little force tree.
Yeah, but bigger.
A skills tree, yeah. But and then I guess the sort of the server slam that will be for, I guess it will be mainly for the Necromancer, given that
I don't know.
like you know, when you've got a big group of people and they're all going necromancers, they'll all be having so many entities, like with
It's awesome.
the different characters. Yeah.
We did that on Diablo 3, where I think two of us were necromancers, so we each had like 8 to 10 characters go out and just do all the fighting for us, and we're buffing, we're healing. It's so cool.
It definitely seems vaguely reminiscent of Gears 5 Horde mode, where it'll be like you and Pete making turrets and sentries.
Yeah, do all our fighting for us. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, and then me being the big pilot, the barbarian.
Sure, yeah, that's awesome.
You know, so it's like, I guess it's sort of reminiscent of our play styles.
So James, have you looked into this at all? Is like, do you know, you're totally blind to it?
I'm going into Diablo 4 with no expectations, no experience, and I'm gonna experience it fresh for you guys.
Okay.
And you haven't played any of the previous Diablo?
Wow. Hopefully it's.
I haven't.
No, hopefully it's not going to be too overwhelming. I'll be there to hold your guys' hand and stuff. So that should be cool. Selling all the loot. So I imagine the loots will be scaled back a bit as well. But when you see a legendary drop, it is phenomenal.
Paul.
Hey, Mumsy! Well, look at you. You look wonderful today.
Do you, darling? So do you.
Thank you very much.
Take your chair. Help the safety.
Okay.
He said, I'll take Salvation Army contact. Do you want to try and sell it?
The Druid class sounds amazing. Yeah. That reminds me for Lee, there's a card for Pilot that Lee would love. Healing explosive. Yeah, no worries, dude. So Spuddy said for Gears 5, the Pilot, that Lee would love healing explosives. Doing damage with explosive heals you and your silverback. Dang.
I mean, yeah, that would be pretty cool.
That would be cool. So yeah, so
what?
What's this?
Oh, wait, so sorry, who said this?
Spuddy's chilling with us today.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's the I think the card is the healing tri-shot. So I'd probably replace the Mulcher with the I'd replace the Mulcher with the tri-shot.
Sure, yeah.
It's just that I quite like the damage that the Mulcher does.
Sure.
But if I changed it for the tri-shot, then it would heal my silver back,
right.
Which would be. But I'm not sure.
Okay.
I generally prefer the Mulcher.
Yeah. So James, so Diablo, do you know what character that kind of interests you? Do you have a certain one that's like I can identify?
I don't know the characters.
All right.
I'll decide that in game.
All right. Yeah. So your sorceress or sorcerer will just do magic mainly, and some crazy magic too, like lightning, fire, all of that stuff, which is pretty cool. The sorceress was amazing. The necromancer basically brings, like, you can spawn minions to fight for you, and you can sit back. You can still jump in and fight. That's not an issue.
Probably the class I'll go for, because I like doing things like that.
Oh yeah. And then the barbarian, of course, is your tank, your major damage doer. And I just don't know anything really about the rogue. I assume you can just sneak up behind people and kill them, like that's their go-to power. And then a druid, I have no clue.
I'm sort of interested to see on like how different they can make the sorcerer to the necromancer, because I know that the necromancer, you can make people do other you can make things do, you can bring things to life, make them do whatever, but they're both like fairly magic based.
Yeah.
So it's whether, you know.
Yeah. So Spuddy said, is the druid like a healing support class? I don't know. What's that, James?
You're like a White Walker from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Raise the dead. Yeah.
So the character creation is awesome. It's not super robust, but your character looks phenomenal when you're done.
All right.
And then some of the gear makes you just look awesome. So in the game, because it's usually top down, right? Or like angled of sorts. And so you can't see too much, but then when you bring up your character sheet or whatever, your character's all decked out and all their stuff. Man, oh man, it looks so awesome. I'm super excited. So this May 12th to the May 14th, I'm super happy about. I don't know when the game actually comes out. It's in June.
6th of June, so early June.
The 5th of June?
The 6th of June.
6th of June. What day is that?
That is.
Is that a Friday?
Day after the 5th, isn't it?
Darn you, James. No, it's on Tuesday. Okay. Huh.
Radical, bro.
Radical, bro. Imagine a rogue as your backstab class. I think so. I think so for sure. And that's what it usually is. James, you got any news this week?
Personal or gaming?
Either or, I guess. It doesn't matter.
Well, I was looking into that game for the main topic. So
yeah, Unrecord.
I'll save the stuff when we
Good.
go on to that.
We're gonna jump into that soon.
Cool. Yeah. Gaming news.
It's okay if you don't. It's not your responsibility.
I spent some time yesterday smashing up an old PS3 that I bought broken.
Right.
To salvage the disk drive.
How did that go?
Yeah, that was good. Someone had obviously spilt something in it because it was all stained on the motherboard. But £40 to buy a broken PS3 with a working drive in it, or £100 to buy the drive on its own.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose. Did everything work out?
It did. It's something I want to show you, actually.
Okay, excellent. Ooh, show and tell. It's been a while since we had some show and tell. Gaz usually showed us his goodies.
El Gato.
El Gazo.
I told you I was sorting through my old game drawer. Look at the old controller.
Oh, there it is. Look at that. That's an official one, too.
It is. And Lee, you probably don't even remember this, but have you ever seen the Duke?
I've seen it. I've never used.
You've
one
never
myself.
felt the Duke in your hands?
Look
Well,
at the size of the controller compared to my hand.
Yeah,
it's massive. It is,
It's huge.
But we played on it, right? Like, I never complained about it. I didn't care.
if you think that, that's probably the size of the Switch.
Yeah, almost.
It's not far off.
They're worth gold. Yeah, they are, Spuddy.
Now, how would you hold this? Like that?
Who are you asking?
Paul. You.
Oh, so yeah, you take your left exactly just like that.
Just like that.
Yeah, and then you take your other hand and use the buttons.
So strange.
Why? What did you do?
I always chopped and changed depending on the game, because depending on the game depended on what buttons you'd need.
I never ever switched. That is how I played every single game.
Like Mario 64, you'd just be running around and jumping. You know, you'd never need the D-pad from memory.
Yeah, no, I never use a D-pad.
Yeah, a bit of a blast from the past. And you remember where you put the rumble thing?
Yep, right back there, absolutely. And some amazing games. Now we're getting into the N64. This is great. The wrestling games, man, like and WCW versus NWO, fantastic. WrestleMania 2000, fantastic. Silver the Nightwolf, I forgot excited. Yeah, Silver the Nightwolf, good to see you. I always had left hand on the D-pad, right hand on the buttons. Wow. That blows my mind, guys. I'm serious. Like N64, I got it 3 days before it was released. Such a wonderful story. Great memory for me. I always played every single game like this, and I could go get my N64 controller as well. It's awesome. I love it. I even got a knockoff brand in a box because the yellow. I would love to display a yellow N64 controller, like an official one. I do have a knockoff downstairs in its package and stuff. So yeah, it's super cool.
You weren't even born then, Lee.
No.
All right, Leroy, what do you got for some gaming news today before we get into Unrecord?
Well, I've got something that I don't know might interest James. Xbox Game Pass Quest will soon be easier to find on your console. If that's something that interests you.
It's going amazing, Silver. Hopefully you're doing good too.
Difficulty finding it.
Well, allegedly, yeah. the the way that you access the Game Pass quest will soon be getting an improvement, as you'll be able to jump into them near immediately via the Xbox Home button, rather than having to navigate them through the Game Pass app. Yeah, so
Spuddy, that
they'll
would
be
be
much easier
amazing.
to find. Simply go to your profile and click on My Rewards. Rewards has its own tab and will no longer be under the gaming tab. Whether that's whether that sort of streamlines it for you.
They don't lower the points that you earn as part of this streamlining process, because they've already cut them down a little bit. I think they realised, wow, lots of people are saving lots of money, and I'm one of them. I've probably bought several games using reward points that I haven't needed to pay. You know, the last game I bought was the last Dark Pictures game. Didn't pay a penny for it. Used all my reward points. The previous one, same. I got £20 off Resident Evil, and I've got £20 again that I'm going to be no, I've got £30 that I'm going to be using for Jedi Survivor. Nice. So that game's only £30. That's all through saving reward points.
That's cool. It's a great investment, man. Game Pass is great.
I've never been like, I've never looked into it at all, really.
No, I don't do the missions, but like I play a game every day, and I get like those little, hey, unlock these reward points, blah blah blah. So I have a little over 5,000.
Does it have to be a different game? Or
yeah, well, you're gonna want to play a different game every day and stuff. And if on that website I gave you, Lee, the Xbox website there, they every week they have a strategy on how, like, you can read through that and it'll tell you how to get it to maximize all those points and to get them every week.
You don't even need to do that.
I'm sorry?
You don't even need to do that. So you know the rewards, the one that has the symbol of the medal. You click on that.
Yeah.
And you can do loads of things to earn points. One of the things you can do is do searches on Bing, and you earn about 200 points a day.
Wow, really?
And all I do is I click on Bing and I search the alphabet. A, search. B, search. C, and by the time I get to Z, I've got 200 points every day, and it adds up.
Yeah.
All I've got to do is dedicate 5 minutes a day to doing that, and I get games paid for. I get at least 2 games a year free for doing that, so it's worth it.
That definitely worth it. Wow, that's really cool.
Here's the crazy thing: not all countries have rewards.
No,
Mooney in South Africa doesn't get Games Pass quests, Games Pass rewards.
That's weird.
So yeah.
No, I know Game Pass isn't in every country, but
yeah, but it's kind of weird because in I think like 8 countries now, and one of them being South Africa, is that they're sort of like testing out a new Game Pass subscription. I think it's the Friends and Family one, and I'm not sure like what the parameters of it are, but I imagine that it'll be, it'll be one to have for your entire family instead of having multiple ones.
I can't wait till that comes to Canada.
Yeah, I was going to say that's what you're waiting for.
Yeah,
because I'm paying for me and Isaac both. So, and that's $39, just under $40 a month, just for Game Pass for him and I. So a family thing. It's and Game Pass is so worth it. What you get it's so cheap. It really is for what you get. Yeah. So cool. Lee, what else you got?
That's pretty much me done, to be fair. I didn't really have a lot of stuff. There was this thing where multiple games were announced for Xbox following the April 2023 Nintendo event.
Right, yeah.
But I haven't really looked into that.
So and we've discovered the epicness of indie games just over the last week or so. Indie games keeps the world going, the gaming world going around. And Phil Spencer's playing a game right now called Dredge, which is kind of like a fishing game of sorts. Right. And I never even heard of it. But on that website, I found that there's that he's playing it.
The thumbnail, it looked.
It'll make you carp your pants.
What, Dredge will?
Scary fishing game that'll make you carp your pants.
Oh, I heard you say crap. I'm sorry, but you said carp your pants. I see what you did there, James. I'm sorry you had to explain it a second time. That's funny.
But yeah, the from the thumbnail, it did look like he was playing. I think it's quite an old indie game now. Limbo.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, it did look a bit like that.
Part 2 is out now. Part 2 is out.
Really?
So, yeah.
I didn't know they made another one.
Yep. Yes.
All right.
Pretty sure they did. So I haven't played any of the Limbo games. I know Mooney played a Limbo game. What, didn't she stream that at one point?
Possibly, I can't remember.
I did see Dredge almost has the Eternal Darkness sanity system. Oh crap! So yeah, we'll see, man. I don't know if it's on. I don't know if Game Pass is on Dredge or not, and I need to fire up my Xbox at some point and have it live while we're going on here. Especially coming up, I'll get this. I'll get the screens more organized so we can start seeing things, because I want everybody to experience Unrecord's video, because it is so crazy. So I'm gonna throw it in the chat. Since we've got no more Unrecord on Steam, the millions watching in chat, if I could give you guys this link here, that this is a Steam link, so it's nothing malicious or anything like that. This is a Steam. If you watch the video, this is actual gameplay. This is not a pre-recorded video. This is the game. This was created in Unreal 5, and it looks unbelievably real.
It's kind of like unsettling as well.
I would even say jarringly. I mean, you can use that word. It's totally fine, because
no. It's just sometimes I go through like a phase where I find a word and I end up using it a lot.
That's okay. That's okay.
I think it applies to a lot of situations, and then I just stop using it.
Yeah, was it because it's just because we teased you about jarring?
No,
That's the only reason.
No. It's just it hasn't cropped up in my head. Like I use it for a bit and then I did.
So check this out. Unrecord is a single-player first-person shooter that tells the story of a tactical police officer from the perspective of his body camera. As you work to solve a complex case, you'll need to use your tactical and detective skills to succeed. So this has gotten major eyes on it now, which is awesome. Great for the dev. And so people are like, this is fake. No way. This isn't real. And so the dev's like, it is real. And let me prove it to you. And it was yesterday, he put out a Twitter video of the Unreal 5 environment and him working within the game in the environment. And it was mind-blowing, because that just wipes away all doubt. And so the Unreal Engine is just mind-blowingly powerful. But if you don't mind, I'm going to take like 3 or 4 minutes and read. I'm going to read to you guys a bedtime story. So, so here we go. Buckle up. So this is only 5 different points, okay? This is right from the developer. And if you look on Twitter, it's at Unrecord Game. This is a post-reveal response to questions and concerns from players. So what he did is I should say they did, because I don't know who the dev is. So what they did was gather all these questions, and they just put out kind of like a disclaimer, we'll say. So number 1, scam or real gameplay footage. They went on to say, there have been many doubts raised about the authenticity of gameplay. The game is developed on Unreal 5, and the game footage is captured from an executable and played using keyboard and mouse. It is not a VR game. In reality, it seems rather flattering to compare the graphics of Unrecord to reality, but fortunately we know that a game first focuses on gameplay and universe, on which we primarily concentrate. Considering the high production cost of a video game and our global reputation at stake, if Unrecord were a scam, it would be a blockbuster scam. Therefore, it is logically not one. We do not use any real videos or external rendering to Unreal Engine for the creation of Unrecord. Unrecord is, in brackets, un, and then real. So right there, that first part, there's only 5 little disclaimers. So the realism there is created by these people. The environments, this is mind blowing. And I don't know if you've watched it with the sound on. It's next level. It really is. All right. No.
I can see it being met with a lot of, I guess, hostility.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, just on the basis that it's like there seems to be the stereotype of, oh well, video games teaches kids about violence, and teaches kids
You're
to be
jumping ahead of
violent
us.
in real life.
You're jumping ahead of us, Lee. Hold on. James, do you have
Okay.
anything to say about gameplay and scam or real gameplay footage?
No, I've got things to say, but that's
good.
for later.
This is what we want. All right. And Lee, I didn't mean to cut you off, but we're gonna get into a major tangent, which is gonna be good.
I didn't know.
That's okay. Number 2, pro-police or anti-police, and I'm glad they put this out. I haven't read it yet, to be honest. So this is I see all the words. I'm like, oh, I don't want to read this because I hate reading. So pro-police or anti-police. As a French studio addressing a global audience, the game does not engage in any foreign policy and is not inspired by any real-life events. The game will obviously avoid any undesirable topics such as discrimination, racism, violence against women, and minorities. The game will have no bias or whatever that word is, take on a criminal acts and police violence. We also respect and understand people who may feel disturbed by the game's images. Art cannot fight against interpretation. Justifying the undisclosed content of the game would be a spoiler, and you will discover the direction of the themes of for yourself. The public generally trusts film, series, and novel writers on the intelligence of the point of view when it comes to detective, gangster, police stories. Why not for a video game? If the game presents political messages, they will be made consciously on your own interpretation. If the game aims to be subversive in certain countries, we will assume the label. Whew. That's pretty intense. Like I said, I didn't read any of this except for the very first one. So he's right, or they're right about movies, books, and all this other stuff. But we do have a certain interpretation since we're all gamers as well. So number 3, release and timing. In reality, the unexpected success of Unrecord's 2022 video prompted us to accelerate development. And my father-in-law is here, so Ella's going crazy, just as a heads up. The video prompted us to accelerate development as to not to lose our momentum and to establish our identity in the market. We are currently only an independent studio that self-funds. It is rare to see a first game in pre-production and such enthusiasm, and we have adapted our communication logic to an uncontrolled success. We accept our chance and must, in turn, play the early announcement card. Therefore, there is no release date or even an estimated year of release at this time. But I like how open they are. They're like, Kirby, so good to see you. They're so open that, hey, we recognize we're starting to get some traction, so we're going to speed up production and get this game out to you guys. We'll see. That could backfire, but optimization. Number 4. At our current stage of development, it is difficult to speak about the final optimization, but it is just like any other game, and we see no issue in following the optimization process. Realistic effects do not solely rely on textures or polygon count. Therefore, it would be possible to experience immersion or less powerful mechanics. We cannot guarantee a perfectly optimized game, as it would be presumptuous given the challenges that ambitious studios face today, but we will meet the expectations of gamers and developer accordingly. However, it is possible an older generation of PCs may not have sufficient performance to fully enjoy a next-gen game powered by Unreal Engine 5. Makes sense, but you have to say that because there's a lot of meatheads out there that just have no clue, and they're like, this should work on my Game Boy. So number 5, porting. And this is a little excited. Currently, the game runs smoothly with both keyboard and controller. We don't see any issue with porting to consoles. However, we haven't yet decided on the specific platform and consoles for release, but we will keep you updated during development. Unfortunately, it is not a VR game. We're also considering a global localization, at least making the subtitles available in most requested languages. P.S. Don't ask us about the beta testing anymore. We'll inform everyone when it takes place. Thank you for your attention and feedback. See you soon. Holy crap! This is just so this is exciting and scary all at the same time. This is, and I know this isn't the way ChatGPT. I don't know if you guys know much about ChatGPT. We're not at that doorstep of ChatGPT, but in the game universe of just gaming alone, I think this game here is where we're at. I really do. This is going to, an Unreal 5, unbelievable. Everybody should be using Unreal 5 now. These guys are incredible. That Matrix demo was very realistic. It was. And so I think we're at a scary spot right now. But it is games and all that stuff. So, James, I want your thoughts, because you said you have a bunch of thoughts on this. So, fill us in. Hit Lee and I in the face with your all your thoughts on this game.
I think the conversations around this game are the same conversations that people have been having since gaming was invented. If we were doing this podcast back in 2003, we would be having this conversation about GTA San Andreas. It's far too real, you know, it encourages violence, and then hot coffee, you know, that's way too real.
Yeah.
Right? You look back now and you think it's ludicrous because it was just ragdoll physics, essentially.
Right, yeah.
And we'll be having the same conversation if we're still here in 20 years for the next game, looking back and laughing at this.
How can you get more real than that, though?
That's what they said in 2003, Paul.
But, okay, hold on, though. No, I see what you're saying, and I agree. The thing is, though, is that game Unrecord has matched everything we can look out our window and see.
Look at Ready Player One. You know, a whole world in VR. You know, do you think we're going to get to that point?
I do.
You know, 20 years ago, the Virtual Boy was, you know, seen, and you can't do VR like that anymore. You know, with like red shapes and things. So,
right,
where will we be in 20 years or 40 years? You know, with technology and gaming, if we've not been blown up. But I hope you see my point though on that. It's the same conversation, just technology's advanced.
Yep. Okay. Spuddy had mentioned you can go back earlier than that and talk about Custer's Revenge, and I look at the graphics. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's no way people thought that that's real. But 1982, there was nothing else like that. You have a character and you're shooting people. So I get it. I get it. It's just, you look at that's cartoon. You look at GTA, that's cartoon. You look at Unrecord and you're like, that's real life.
Yeah, but that's what it was then, and that's what it is now. It's the same conversation.
So the conversation is the same. The realism isn't, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but it's subjective. You know,
okay.
Back then, I remember seeing the tech demo from the PS2 in 2000.
Yep.
In Japan, and they had like a Lara Croft, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, she looks so real." You know, it's so real. She's not blocky. She's actually got a face.
Yeah.
You know, and that at the time was seen as absolute realism. And that's what you're saying, you know. In 20 years' time, you know, when we're still doing this podcast and you've got your millions of viewers,
right, and
we're moaning about the next game, look back to this moment and you'll go, oh yeah, Unrecord. Yeah, well, you know, look, then it was, you know, bad graphics and that. It'll be the same conversation. You mark my words, Sonny Jim.
So the world has to evolve to a level of that takes over our current realism. And
well, now we've got these deep fake things,
which is crazy. Yeah.
I was going to mention that.
Yeah, falls into the realm of gaming. You know, that how they combine those sorts of graphics.
Okay.
Very, very interesting to see.
All right, Lee, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, at what point do they take elements from this game? Because modding is very crazy in terms of what people are capable of. At what point do people switch people from the game, it, particularly their faces, put in deep fakes of other people, and then it's like people are targeted in that sense. But I maybe it's sort of like a jumping to conclusion type thing. But I just think what the potential that people can do with stuff like this, it can be quite unsettling. And if you think like I can't remember how many years ago, but there was the instance where um there was, I think it was a Call of Duty game where you're playing as a terrorist
Ugh,
and you
I
shoot
hated that.
people in an
In an
airport,
airport, yeah.
and it's like that gave a lot of controversy.
I never pulled the trigger,
Um,
just as a heads up. I did not pull the
yeah, it's
trigger
a
in
yeah,
that Call of Duty.
and it's like that wasn't deemed to be as real as this. And then you go with, I think it was last year, where there was a game called I believe it's Martha is Dead,
Yes,
where
right.
where
James
where
played
you
that.
where you cut the face off someone, and it's like
That's the game that sparked this conversation. That's it there, Lee. Because we talked about it on the podcast last year. Good.
yeah, and
Mark.
so it's sort of like it's a different level of it, like where in some places the like Martha is Dead and that's like censored, that's that can be cut out of the game, like that aspect.
Game had some
um
really bad moments in it.
yeah,
Wow.
and
Wow.
so it's just a matter of whether what we're jumping to now is maybe a leap too far because of what people can do with the modding, deep fakes. How far does this go?
I was going to
You
bring up the
know?
modding as well because of PC stuff, which is quite
Yeah,
weird.
yeah, and this is a Steam game, so it's it's ideal for PC, and it's just a matter of what people can do with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And
So,
I'm not saying like it's that we shouldn't necessarily do it. I just think it needs to be done with extreme care and moderation.
so I want to say I'm not against this game. All right. I just want to establish that I'm not. I want the conversation. This is the whole
Mm,
point. I want to talk about it. I want people's views. I want everything. And so I'm not against this game as like because there's stuff. There's only a couple things I would not want to see in a game. Well, probably more than a couple, but like this, I understand it. It's a police game, and it's gonna be body footage. They blurred out the people who die.
mm,
And but that what you're saying with deep fake Lee and mods and stuff, that's going to instantly be removed, and people's
mm,
faces or certain cultures, certain races will be placed in as the terrorist and will be targeted for sure. So um, it's just with the insane amount of school shootings and the ridiculous amount of parents who are not parents and should be slapped over and over because they don't raise their kids properly or stick them in front of a video game or TV and say, yeah, raise yourself. Um, I can just foresee this triggering some bloodthirst with some wackos. I really could. Or could it quench the thirst of some wackos? I don't know. You could look at it from that point of view.
I find video games in general are targeted much more than other media for
Yeah.
some weird and wacky reason.
Yeah.
You know, the number one song in the charts in America in 2020 was Cardi B's Wet Ass Pussy. That was the most favourite song in all of America. And nobody had anything bad to say about that. I've seen some, pretty damn questionable movies.
Yeah.
And now that there's all this wokeism out there, you see what's coming out, especially from the likes of Disney and that. And TV shows are the same. Look at Velma. Have any of you heard the controversy of Velma?
Yeah.
I've
I
seen
I know the controversy of it. I've never watched it.
Boys, both of you
Yeah,
just
if
said
you're-
controversy.
basically,
Controversy,
if you're a white
controversy.
guy, you're scum. That's the theme of that show. But if it was the other way around, that show would never have gotten made.
Yeah.
And it just seems like all of the hate and rage that doesn't exist for things like that, which should do, is now on video gaming, and this is a perfect example of that.
So
People kicking and screaming that it's too real, but you're fine with school shootings. You're fine with kids listening to women sing about how they want their private parts slammed. But having a controller for them to be able to do things in a virtual environment, that's a big no-no, is it?
I think there can be a bit of a difference between observing it through listening or watching, that and the action of actually doing it.
that's where I was going to
Whether
go.
whether it's in a game
Or in the
or
classroom is fine, I suppose.
yeah.
Yeah, just because we get lost in video games, especially like RPGs, right? You're a role player. You're a role player game, and your eyes for a lot of these first person shooters, such as this, even though it is a body cam, like this is your eyes. That's how you focus it. That's why, and not to bring up the porn world, but the first person perspectives. That's taken off greatly. It's just that person doing things to you, and all it is the person's visual from wherever, and like that's massive. But
The immersive nature of it.
yeah, so I have ever since Star Trek: The Next Generation, I've always wanted a holodeck room, honestly, and because it's real, that you can smell, you could just program it. I think that would be the greatest thing ever. I hope someday we could get to that point. I'll be long dead before that. But like this is Unreal 5, man, Unrecord. This
Sort of technology in Tokyo.
yeah.
So there's an actual underground kind of amusement park in Tokyo that my friends went to, and it's the closest you can get to being in a complete VR environment. So he wanted to know where a certain shop was, and you could just touch anywhere on the wall, and it brings up, displays of what you want to do, and that's just on the walls. It's like you can step, and it will bring like holograms in front of you of what you want to see and things.
Wow, that would be amazing.
Incredible, absolutely incredible.
Crazy.
So the technology exists in some respect for that, but
yeah,
unless you're a really rich person, you're only going to see it in big commercial spaces.
Sure, yeah.
In certain places in like Tokyo.
Yeah, it's just so this game here, like I said, I'm not against Unrecord at all, not even a tiny bit. I think what this person has done, or this company has done something amazing. I would love to see other companies get into more of a where you could walk down the street and see everything, like Google Maps when you're doing Street View.
Yeah, Google Lens, they have that thing in the glasses which put holograms and things, didn't they?
Yeah, so that would be cool, but like this, where I think it's the subject matter where you're running, you're chasing down people, gunning them down, and they're dropping, and it's just the realism. They captured everything, like I said, the sound. People are talking about the muzzle flash, which I have no clue about. I couldn't compare muzzle flashes. Just the movement, the running sounds, the echoing, everything is there to make you fully immersed and taking down some baddies. I have no issues killing baddies.
like,
I'm just saying, but
like throughout the video, I was just trying to see whether like certain details where it's like and I couldn't quite tell when, for an example, when the guy's reloading his pistol, whether every time he did it was different, like in some kind of variation, because like you're not going to hold your hands exactly the same way every time.
Yeah.
So but or like look at the space, like and I was just trying to see whether that was actually where there were actually variations, and I couldn't really tell. I'm not sure whether they did it enough times, whether you could see whether there was a difference.
That's mind blowing.
But it's certain like little details like that where you have the clothing on the wrist of the hands, where it's like how it's creased.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like, I couldn't quite see that enough to be able to tell whether like the realism is there for it. You know.
So
You
Mark
need,
just said, I hope this game doesn't make major news, otherwise it may hurt the gaming industry. Which I think this game
yes.
is going to spark a massive outrage. I really do.
I do think like the setting is very important. Like where if you took the whole environment um and you changed it to like I don't know um running running across a desert as a stormtrooper and you're gunning down a rebel, it's like it's I feel like that would be but the graphics were still like of the real aspect. I
Yep,
feel it would be taken so much differently.
I think so.
Um, but instead, this is just like a normal building, with normal people in a normal like broadly speaking,
Sure, yeah.
and dealing with that kind of real nature of it, which does which will make a big difference, I believe.
Wow. James, would you play this?
Yeah, yeah. I don't really game on Steam anymore. I don't have a powerful machine
Yeah.
to do that. So if it's only on Steam, probably not, because I don't think my laptop could handle it. If it comes to Xbox, probably. Like I say, I played Martha is Dead, and that was kind of on the cusp of wow, this is. I don't know how they got away with putting certain things in that game. And you say about the face peel, that's not even the worst scene in it.
Mm.
You know, so I mean that's what the ratings are for.
Sure, yeah.
You know, that's the whole point of that, and it's the same with films. There are
Mm.
films
But there'll
where
be people who ignore it, such as like with I think there were complaints when the first Deadpool came out, and it's like, well, this film was, and it's like some kind of parent was just complaining, saying, "S- some they should have some kind of rating to say that this wasn't suitable. I took my children to see superhero films. Like it's Deadpool.
Yeah.
Like what do you
That's what I'm
expect?"
saying.
same though, it's the same. You go back 30 years before internet, people used to complain that adult magazines were available to buy in shops.
Yep.
How could you have things of that content in a public space?
Yeah.
There will always be something to enrage, whiny liberal people who want perfect worlds without anything of any sort, in it.
So check this out. So this is a good topic. Otney and Mark just brought up, and you guys are in the UK, so you just hear stories. I'm in Canada. I border the US, so I hear all the stories. It's on our news and everything. So Otney says this game will be a big problem in the US where guns are everywhere, not for other countries, I guess. And Mark just said, I watch so many real shootings now, I couldn't tell the difference between the game and real life, which is insanely scary. Where Mark lives, he's got to carry. He's got to carry. And I can't imagine living in a place where I have to carry a gun to stay safe. But this game here, oh yeah, Spuddy, yeah, I could get on a Dungeons and Dragons Satanism talk for 10, 15 minutes easily. So, yeah, so that's pretty intense. That is a scary thing. That's what I mean, like triggering people.
I do think it's quite interesting that the people with the ability to make something so real, the first thing they went for was a first person shooter, as opposed to like, I don't know, some kind of fishing game where you could make the water so realistic and the fish animation so realistic. Like I don't know. It's interesting that the first thing they went for was a first person shooter.
Sex and violence, boys. That's what sells.
Mm.
Sex and violence. That's that, and it's crazy. Yeah, I don't know what to say. First is are the most popular games of all time. Yeah, fishing games sign me up. I would be all about it. It's so funny. I was going through all the conversations, and I sent this to Crystal. There is a game that is a paranormal game, and let me bring it up for everybody here so you can actually check it out. She asked me if I was going to play it, and it's called Paranormal Tales. Okay, let me get the Steam. This looks like insanely real, but like you can tell that it's not. If you guys want to click that link, that's a Steam link. But if you look at this is Paranormal Tales. This is what I'm talking about. Like, you can tell it's a little bit not fully real, but it almost looks real.
I hate it already.
So if you look at this, you're like, well, dang, holy crap, that actually looks really good. Unrecord is next level for graphically. But this game here, I think would be a blast to play, and it'd be scary. And it comes out this year. I don't know when. They're using Unreal Engine 5 as well.
But I think with this, it's like, you know, as scary as this can be, that I do feel that there is like there is like a gap where it's like I
Yep.
can tell that this isn't real.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Graphically, you can tell.
Yeah, it's like, you know, there's definitely a suspend of disbelief um through how it's like conducted,
Yep.
whereas the other one you don't know. You know,
Yeah.
like is that footage? Are the faces censored because they're real faces?
Yeah.
Like of an event that actually happened, or is it you know, it's I just it's the lines are very blurred.
Well, I guess that's
There's a gap in regular people who are quite desensitized to things now,
yeah.
and the other side, the liberals who are triggered by anything. There are already games like this that came out in the early 1990s on the Sega CD that were FMVs of you as a cop shooting people.
Yep.
You were going into a bank shooting robbers, and it was all recorded. You know, it was an actual FMV. You know, of real people. You know, just doing acting. But these already exist. There was another game called Night Trap
Yes.
where you were in charge of CCTV and
That's
you had to catch criminals in a house before they moved off screen. And if you didn't, they would have their way with the lady of the house, shall we say. And you'd watch her pulling her about and start to rip her clothes off. And
yeah.
these were games from the early 90s, and these
Yeah.
weren't bad graphics. These were actual movies turned into games.
Yeah.
And Paul knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can play these now on Xbox. They re-release them and you can buy them. And I honestly I thought about playing them again on stream. I think not again. I thought about playing them on stream. It would just be funny. Yeah, check Night Trap out, Lee, if you haven't. I see what you're saying.
Right.
I see what you're saying, James. For sure. For sure. I get it. I get it. It's so crazy. I love the gaming universe and world and where we're at right now. This is mind blowing. Unreal 5 is going to do some incredible things. And who knows what's going to happen in 10 years, just 10 years alone. I'd love to see the development process go quick.
I feel like gaming is the last bastion of the free arts.
Yeah.
The movie industry has been kind of taken over by Hollywood wokeism, and all directors are very careful now about what they show in films. And music seems to have gone insane. You know, I mean, the fact that Whereas Pussy is now the #1 song, and but gaming seems to be the only free thing where people can still do what they want, put it on,
And to be specifically indie gaming, like that's a more of the free form.
Yeah, as a free form, anyone can just have a blast with it.
Yeah.
You know, it used to be, you'd get amateur B-movie filmmakers who'd make some pretty cool stuff. And same with music. Anyone could, release a single and get popular. And same with television. Television's exactly the same. You know, I remember seeing really cool comedies and things in the 90s and early 2000s. And then things clamped down of what you're allowed to show. You know, there are some real funny films, like if anyone's ever seen East is East and things like that.
No.
Indian family moves into an all-white neighborhood, and it's just a hilarious comedy of differences in culture. But that's a film that will never be shown again. The same with a number of comedies. And now you get very, very tame things by comparison, because that's what's allowed to be put out there.
Yeah.
But that's not the same with gaming. You can put anything out there, which I like. You know, it like I said, it's the last free bastion.
Yep.
So
But
this is
yeah,
probably why it's attacked more than other mediums.
sure, but we don't want something like this or something else like this to spark a reason for things for it to not be as freely made.
Your
Because
argument
then,
there is you want to self-censor stuff to make sure that things then aren't self-censored later.
but no, but it's like no, because if we go through, if we push too far, they'll push back, and if they push back, they'll push
Oh,
to
everyone has a different opinion of what's too far.
That's true.
Now there are certain categories that I feel, you know, should always be off limits. You know, rape, child pornography, etc. Things
Yep.
things of that level. But outside of those core categories, everyone has their own opinion of what's too far. You know, you ask
Sure.
some people, and they'll say, you know, Minecraft too rough. You know, you're going around killing sheep and animals and things. And I have had people say that to me.
Sure,
So,
sure, but
where's
it
the limit?
but it's like how you were saying with films, shows, and songs, they're not as free to be able to do whatever you want in them anymore.
That's exactly what I said, yeah.
And but there's definitely something in there that it's like, well, from a public standpoint, there's a straw that broke the camel's back to say, look, we can't do this anymore. We can't put this type of content out there, because then you know, so then it does become a very much a controlled measure. And I'm just wondering whether, for in terms of gaming, whether this is it. You know, like we have to take the care to self moderate, because if we don't, then things get blown way out of proportion, and it gets forced on us. And if it gets forced on us, then there's no creativity.
Manhunt. Do you remember Manhunt, Paul?
Yep.
That came out in the early 2000s, and that was, at the time, the game that was most talked about, because it was so bad you just go around killing people, essentially. And that was banned in several countries. So every country has its own standpoint. Go back to 2017 with the Star Wars loot boxes. That was discussed in several countries, you know, because it brought gambling essentially into gaming, which a lot of companies had started doing in, you know, the year or so prior. It was just because Star Wars was so popular and so many people were playing it, it got that kind of attention. And I think loot boxes really kind of, would you say they fizzled out quite a bit after that?
Yes.
Yeah, certain games like CS:GO still has them, and I think Overwatch still does, but I'm not sure. Not just, I guess, cosmetic stuff. That's all these. So all the loot boxes are gone, where it gives you an advantage and all that stuff.
Pay to play.
Yeah.
But we're not pay to win.
Yeah. Okay. Spuddy said, this is funny, there was a school shooter who claimed Minecraft drove him to kill, which is absolutely wild. And then there was a game called Hatred. Hatred was a game where you played as a serial killer. And that's intriguing, but messed up.
Well, there was a game called Bully that came out.
Right.
You know.
And that can't do it. That won't come out ever again. They will never do a remake. They can't. I would play it because I'd love it. It'd be fun because I can separate.
It won't be made, like a game like Bully can't be made again by a big gaming like company. It's more of an indie developer sort of thing that would allow that to happen.
Hmm.
Which is why it's indie gaming. That's something that is very free.
I think
And
Rockstar could do it. I think they could do it and just say that the heck
mm,
with everybody. And if anybody's upset with it, just it's a game. Deal with it. I don't know. It
maybe.
all depends. Yeah, like it's all good. Billy was awesome game. I got on Xbox last year, $5. Yeah, it's a fun game, and it's just I guess Bully identifies back in my day and back, like when I was a teenager, 90s, 80s, and back. I guess Bully really identified with the pop culture at that time, and now everybody's so sensitive and stuff. So yeah, this is a crazy topic, guys. This is a lot of fun. I love it. One last question, James: are you desensitized to violence and stuff?
Most part, yeah. Because I have a brain, and I know the difference between what's real and what's just entertainment. You know, everyone has their own unique points. Some people say that wrestling should be banned. You shouldn't see people fighting each other.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing that got me to the point of wow, this is messed up was a scene in Martha is Dead where you need to find out whether or not Martha, who had died, was pregnant. So
Yeah.
you are given a scalpel, you take her clothes off, and she's fully rendered, and you have to cut her apart and pull out the fetus to confirm she was pregnant. Doing that, I was like, I doubt I will ever see anything at that level in
Yeah.
gaming again. I don't know how they managed to get that in. But other than that, there's nothing that I'm gone. Wow, this should be banned. You know,
Sure. No,
nothing,
that's
because
cool.
I have the ability to separate what's real and what's not.
Yeah. Lee,
You know,
same
which
question.
people don't have these days.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think we're all desensitized to an extent, unless you're brand new to the market, I guess, or you've been extremely sheltered from such
Yep.
things to the point where you're you're immediately hostile to certain aspects of it.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, I consider myself to be a bit desensitized. But I do. I think there are certain. There are certain, like, I think for something with like Unrecord, I do we think we have to tread carefully when when we're
Sure.
going about things like that. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. I get it.
um because there's it's a very hmm, I do think it can cause a lot of issues in the future because of what people are capable of, through purely through like modding, deep fakes. um a game such as this, which was made with like innocent intentions, with it could be twisted to be something else that
Oh,
it wasn't.
definitely. Definitely.
Yeah,
You're gonna see some wackos out there put a mod out that you're gunning down kids easily.
yeah.
Easily. But that's where common sense and like adulting comes into play greatly. So, and I
Mm,
know the ESRB cannot, or the Peggy 18 people, I know they can't stop mods or anything, but the actual game itself. And so, yeah, I'm definitely desensitized, big time, to almost everything so far. I've seen so much, I've witnessed so much, and I grew up on horror movies, so nothing really, nothing really affects me too much, really. The Call of Duty shoot up the airport, I didn't pull the trigger, and because I was a major Call of Duty player back then, didn't do that. Yeah, yeah. I'm a type of person who plays the good side of video games. I'm a good guy in video games, which is stupid because but I just can't bring myself to do bad things in a video game. So
Well, you were Slytherin in Harry Potter, and you were the nicest guy there.
I
Like,
know. Mark just said I lost all my morals when during the COD airport scene. That's where Ultimate Hater was born. Excellent. James?
Yeah, in all media. Do you remember in the 70s when The Exorcist came out
Yeah.
and everyone was fainting in the cinemas?
Yep. Yeah, my
It
mother
was just
was wrecked. So my mother and father were dating at that time. And so when they came out of the theater, she said everybody was laughing at her. And she's like, said to my pops, like, why are they all laughing? And it's like, you should see your face right now. Apparently she was just like bright white, just like scared to death. Cause she was kind of a sheltered girl at the time, but crazy that she's told us that story many times, how it was so scary in the theater back in the 70s.
yeah, loads of people fainted. It was
Yeah.
a well-known phenomenon. And you go back even further to when A Clockwork Orange came out. That was banned in many countries. And you go back even further to when it was just radio and H.G. Wells did his War of the
Yeah.
Worlds. And people genuinely thought aliens were coming down. They were, on the streets with guns thinking they were under attack.
Yeah.
Like, you go back in time, and no matter what it is, the technology of the time will spur people to panic about whatever it is.
Wow. That's so messed up. It's crazy though. It's crazy how far we've come with medium. Like hearing stories on the radio. Like my favorite Christmas movie of all time is A Christmas Story, and they'd sit around the radio listening to Little Orphan Annie or some crazy crap like that, which is just what a different time. Radio, video games, and VR, and then Star Trek hologram rooms. It's gonna be nuts. I'm excited. Like this game, we'll see what happens, Lee. We'll see what happens, James. I don't know. I imagine this is going to get major traction and governments will step in. They are a French company, so I know they're not as tight as a lot of North America stuff is. And so we'll see what happens. Yeah. Guys, anything else? Anything else you got to say? You want to sum anything up?
No.
See where things go.
Yeah, that's it.
Certainly a stark contrast to our last podcast where we talk about King of the Arcade.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited to, like in a year from now, I just want to see where Unrecord is. I want to see what happens. I want to see when it's released. We'll talk about this Unrecord game again. Absolutely. And this is awesome. What's that, James?
It'll fizzle out. We had the same conversation about Martha is Dead. There was about a couple of weeks where everyone was up in arms going, this game shouldn't be allowed. And then everyone forgot it existed.
Yep.
It'll probably be the same thing.
I forgot it existed until you brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that's the case, but
I don't know. We'll see. I think this is going to
it
open up.
depends on
What's
it
that?
depends on how much attention it really gets.
It's going to open up a whole new world for video game design, which is really exciting. And so I'm pretty excited about that. The whole realism nature, visiting other countries and being in these places, it's just fantastic to walk around in this stuff. Like if you look at Google Maps and Street View, you have to double click, you go down the road, click again, go down the road, as opposed to just walking down the road. It's gonna be crazy. I'm excited. It would be the case. People have short attention spans and even shorter memories. It's true. TikTok is ruining everybody. Attention spans have dropped big time. So, all right, that's it. James.
I'm interested in what Pete thinks of this.
Yeah,
I'll give two craps. It'd be like, it's a game. Deal with it.
Yeah, that's definitely his attitude for sure. I love it. I just wonder if he would like to try it though. That's different. Excellent. All right, James, where can they find you on all your South shows?
When you're streaming, I'm there. So pop by and see Pharaoh TV or Urban Pharaoh. You'll get a hello.
Heck yeah. Lee, where can they find you on all your socials? I'm sorry, guys. It was a late night last night. It was almost 2 o'clock by the time I went to bed. I was up at 7. I'm tired.
You're full of poutine.
Oh, yeah, that was so good. Lee, where can I find you on all your socials?
Same as James.
Okay, Pharaoh TV, Urban Pharaoh. All right, all you wonderful people, the millions watching, guys. I know you love to lurk and listen to our beautiful voices and talk and our wonderful insights, and I appreciate that. All of you guys, Spuddy, Mark, Otney. When I say Mark, I mean Ultimate Hater. All you guys chatting Big Casino. Thank you so much. Thank you for contributing, Curvy Last. Thank you. Lakers game kept you up. I see it did. It was a good time. Isaiah wanted to watch it, and I was like, all right. And then I'm wrecked, so it's all good. All right, here we go. So as for James, as for Lee, my name is Paul, and you guys take care. That's so funny.
How's the charge on your laptop, James?
Well, I joined half hour late because I forgot all about the podcast.
Yeah.
I went to check my phone and saw that you were live. I was like, hold on, what's the time? So it was 1:30. I was like, oh crap.
No, it's all good.
So I literally paused what I was doing because I was on Minecraft Legends doing a siege of a thing and I'd completely lost track of time.
Oh, you were playing Minecraft Legends? Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So I built a load of towers and I was just slowly whittling it down and I'd lost track of time completely.
That's okay.
You were live and it was 1:30. I was like, oh crap. I bet Paul was like, oh, James was to be here, but stinking James.
No, didn't say anything. It was just basically, oh, James, we'll see what happens. And he showed up late. It's all good.
My apologies. I completely lost track of what the time was.
No, hey, you're playing video games. That was awesome. This was good. This was a good topic today. It was good. And
yeah, sorry, I know I ran quite a bit.
No, I love it. It saves me from ranting or going on. They don't have to listen to me, so it's a good thing. I like hearing your guys' perspectives anyway, so that's why we do it.
So tomorrow we're doing Left 4 Dead.
What?
Left 4
Dead Island
Dead
2.
Island.
Lee said we could. He said we could, but he'll be here on Tuesday and do it with the rest of us. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Are you able to do the rest of the week, Lee? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday?
I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay.
I'll definitely be back for Friday for
Gears,
obviously.
Yep.
But Tuesday I should be able to do for Wednesday, Thursday. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I'll let you know.
And you're cool with us playing them?
Oh yeah.
You can just drop in any time.
Yeah.
It's not like we have to stop what we're doing sort of thing. So
you
can just jump in any time. So.
Big Casino said it's a 3-player co-op?
Yes.
Oh, it is. Okay, I thought it was 4-player.
I thought it was 4.
The original was 4-player. For some reason, they limited it to 3.
Oh, that sucks. Well, we got our trio, anyways.
Yeah, but don't let me not being there stop you guys from doing whatever tomorrow.
You sure?
Yeah. You go ahead.
Dead Island 2 allows us to play multiplayer lobbies with up to 2 other people in a session. Wow, that sucks.
Right. Yeah,
but
I thought it would be more.
Yeah, me too.
Used to Gears, we can have like 5 people, haven't we?
All these games need that. I would love to. I'd love to have the 5 players and all or more, just having fun and kicking butt. I think that's great. Excellent. All right, gentlemen.